Rapp manages to show up at every high school sporting event that takes place in Davidson County. Okay, maybe not every sporting event, but pretty darn close. Rapp is one of those administrators who works and has worked tirelessly and mostly underappreciated behind the scenes to get things done, doing the organizing, doing the paperwork, and doing the communication that many of us are either not aware of or simply take for granted. Phil has had an outstanding career as a coach, athletic director, principal, city county athletic director, as well as serving in the Davidson County Schools Central Office. A 1963 graduate of Thomasville High School and a 1967 graduate of Wake Forest University. Phil is a two-time Davidson County Schools Principal of the Year. He was named North Carolina High School Athletic Association District 5 Principal of the Year, and he has served a lengthy tenure as the Executive Secretary of the Central Carolina Conference. He recently received the North Carolina High School Athletic Association recognition as one of 100 administrators to remember, a special award presented during the NCHSAA Centennial Celebration for current or past involvement. Perhaps nobody said it better than Phil's longtime friend, Charlie Adams. I've had the pleasure of knowing Phil for many, many years, and I have a great deal of respect and admiration for him. He has served his county, his region, and this state in a very professional and dignified manner. He has left his footprints on everything he has done as an educator and athletic administrator. From my perspective, he has been a real asset to the North Carolina High School Athletic Association in so many ways. In my opinion, he has been and is a key player. I consider Phil to be the epitome of an individual desiring to do what is right, to be always fair, and to give back in terms of time, effort, and energy to his schools, the student athletes, and to our statewide program. Here is a little known tidbit. Phil is an avid Wake Forest fan, as you know, and he is known in Wake Forest University athletic circles as the Tootsie Roll Man, because of his penchant for throwing Tootsie Rolls to surrounding fans every time the Demon Deacons score. Rapp and his wife Linda have two adult children, Ivy 42 and Walt 38. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the newest member of the Davidson County Sports Hall of Fame, Phil Rapp.
I threw a few Tootsie Rolls out today, so Wake Forest beat somebody, so I'm a little emotionally drained already when we start this thing. We don't have to throw out many Tootsie Rolls a lot of times, you know. Going up there today, it was kind of nice. It was a touching moment when one of the gentlemen who was in the car with me said, "When I heard you got selected, it made me tinkle." I think he meant tinkle, but I haven't affected you tonight. You know, when they told me I was going to get into the hall, I started thinking, I said, you know, here's a family. The Rapp name is not known for athletics in Davidson County. For instance, my brother sitting over here and my son right here, there's an argument each Christmas about who's the greatest athlete in Rapp history. My brother scored 2 points in varsity in his career, my son 4 points in JV ball. They're waiting. Which one digs the winner? I don't know. When they said, hey, to get picked, I said, well, you know, I remember the Honor Society when I was in high school. They used to come down the road in the old days, and they would go behind the road that they were going to pick. If you know what I'm talking about. So I'm sitting here, and here comes somebody down to pick. Now, I'm on the road that's not going to be picked, as you can see. He's coming down in front of me, and as he goes by me to tap someone on the shoulder, I decided I have little problems in high school. I tapped the guy in front of me. But he wasn't a recipient. And he had about a 63 average at best, you know? He stands up, everybody looks to last, and of course, I'm the principal's office later. I kind of felt like that when I was told I was going to begin. I kept thinking somebody just tapped me on the shoulder, and a lot of them told me that tonight. Why are you in here? I don't know. It's a mystery to our family. My son put last I talked to him, told him that first. Whatever the reason. You know, when I went out for football in middle school, first day I was out there, you know, first went down to the locker room to get dressed, and I didn't put pants on anything, but I went down to get dressed, and I found out about puberty. I dressed at home for the rest of the season. For the reason what I found out there, I wasn't quite there like the rest of these guys. I couldn't say that like this. I was not Viagra when I still got married for everybody. She said, don't do that. Get to work. Anyway, I go out there, and I'm the first one to get a jersey. I'm so excited. It's a brand new Bulldog jersey. I was at Thomasville Middle School. And I go out there and I put it on, I'm walking around, I'm so excited, you know. I don't know anything about football, but I walk in my jersey. And then the varsity players come out, and they kind of helped back in those days, the varsity. And they came and said, Rapp, you got somebody else's jersey. I said, well, the coach gave it to me. He said, yeah, but this other guy's going to be the quarterback. And he said, it's really his jersey, it's his number. Well, you know, these guys are big and strong, and I'm scared of them, so I take off the jersey. He said, get back in line, you get another jersey. And the boy comes over, I give him my jersey, and he says, I'm going to make this a star for you. And I'm okay. So I go over and get in line, and guess what I get? I get a cotton jersey with no numbers on it. And that's about how I play. Honest truth, 6th game of the season, I haven't been in a game yet. Coach comes over, he's trying to get everybody in, I guess. He says, who's the guy with no number? And they tell him, oh, so what does he play? I say, split in. He said, great. Going out there and get number 75. I went out there and I said, where's 75 lineup? He was offensive tackle, of course. I get up there, the guy from Ashburn 6 times in a row just kills me. The 6th time he spit on me while I was laying there. The referee said, I think you should go to the game, son. I was the only guy ever removed by a referee, probably for my safety. I guess. But here I am in the Hall of Fame, you know? Kind of bothers me just a little bit. And was in basketball, we lined up. I said, this is my sport. I can play basketball. And I line up across this guy, and they got the whole, it's like 25 on each side, and we're bounce passing each other. Pretty simple. He just bounce passes to him, he bounce passes to you. It's the first day of practice. I bounce past him, he just hits him in the chest, and it rolls back to me. He didn't catch it. He's doing like this. His shoes are 12, size 12, honestly. I'm keep passing it over, and it bounces back to me. Now, this guy's no good. And I look around, I realize the coach has everybody matched up by likability. It was me. So you can see it's been a horrendous thing for me to go through. And my brother and them, they're still fighting about this, and I hope y'all help us resolve that sometime down the road. But we have hope. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's 2 sides to our family. The women have seemingly been the athletes. My wife played golf and on the boys' team and all that stuff. I guess they just played golf. I don't know. But she was on the golf team in high school and played basketball and other sports. And my daughter-in-law, she played sports. And I've told you about my son's history and my history and all the rest of us. Well, we have a 5-year-old. She's playing soccer in a league in Wilmington. I was there about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and I heard him say the words I've never heard in my life. Put Rapp in the game. You know? What a shock. You got to see it. You know, my son, he has another boy right here who plays Little League ball. And there's an argument, hey, so see this guy's playing tonight. This is a Rapp playing ball. But it's quite exciting for us to have somebody like that in the family anyway after all this time. One quick story about Charles, and I got to say it, Gene. I know Steve Green's somewhere here, and I know Gene Clump was here, if he's still here. But the story about Charles Elmore when he got the football job. Charles was out in the hall. He got the football job. Let me tell you how this, real quickly. Charles was out there. He came in, the varsity guy left. I forget why he left. But anyway, Charles came in and said, I want the job. You're not going to get Charles. Charles said, well, I'm going to be the head coach here this year. And he looks at me and said, it's not going to be this year. You told me that. But I will be the head coach here someday. Well, Gene Clump was out running around with his Aunt and Uncle in Texas or somewhere for about 2 or 3 weeks, and also we looking for a football coach. And every day, Charles is not getting paid. He's down there, he's digging holes on the football field, he's planting grass, he's doing whatever it takes. No thanks to him for anything. And then when Gene comes back, I said, Gene, he's got to be our head football coach. And I told Gene all about it. I said, that's the way Charles is. And that's the kind of guy he is. That's why he's so deserving tonight. But let me tell you, I saw him in the hall after I made him head football coach. And there is Gene Clump, and there's Charles, and there's Steve Green. And they're talking football. And Charles is listening to both of them. I said, Charles, I walked by and said, Charles, you do what you want to do. But you're taking advice from 2 guys that won 4 games in 3 years. True story. I didn't bring any memorabilia because the only memorabilia we had was Walt's Little League participation trophy. And nobody seems to know where it is. I think they held it down and sold it, but we don't know that. Anyway, it goes, and I promise to be short because I want to see that ball game too. Just to say that, you know, Charles started the number nice. It got to be 6,000 or 7,000. I certainly haven't been there. He probably has been, to tell you the truth. I figure Linda sat home about 1,000 to 1,500 nights over our time period, and that's about 10 years of our marriage. Matter of fact, when our kids and grandkids all ended up being located in the Wilmington, Carolina Beach area, we bought a condo down there, and she went more and more. And about 2 years later, I said, Linda, we're having supper tonight. She says, I moved to Carolina Beach 2 years ago. I've got to keep up. But I have a great family. I've been blessed by the Lord. I've been blessed by a great family. But this board tonight, you know, in the Hall of Fame I know when they sobered up and they said, we get Rapp what? But you know, the truth is that I look at all of it and I think about it. It's really recognition. It's not an award to me. I really don't think of that at all. It's what it stands for. I think what these guys that have been up here and these athletic directors and Bruce Worley and the time he spent out there, writing his articles at 3 in the morning. I know how it works for the sports writers. Those guys put it in. I just sit out there and really got a chance to tell them what they ought to be doing sometimes if they work for me. I didn't have to roll my sleeves and get my sleeves get too dirty. You know, I'm up there at 7 o'clock in a baseball game and I was looking down the track and I said, what's that down there? I said, that's Charles Elmore. And at 7 o'clock and it's dark, he's down there with the putty knife scraping the topping off of the surface off the track so he can get ready the next day to resurface it. 7 o'clock at night, he's doing that, and I'm up there watching the ball game, walking around like I am somebody. We all know I'm not, okay? This thing is all about the work, the time, and effort that's been put in by so many people. We're so fortunate with the communities we have, and the coaches we have, and the athletic directors, how much time they put in. This, to me, that my being up here is just representative of what they've done. I really promise you, my job is nothing like what they've had to do. But I do appreciate the honor, and I thank you for it. And if you want to look at my memorabilia, you'll have to wait till I find that trophy later. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. And my family, couldn't be happier to be here. They're great, and I love them all. Thank you. Trophy case has got one in there.